Welcome to Gaming Pulse. Today in this video, I am gonna tell 10 amazing FPS games with great campaigns you don't want to miss. Number 10, we have got Wolfenstein, the new Colossus. Oh man, Wolfenstein. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to punch Nazis in the face and get caught up in a roller coaster of explosions, drama, and heartfelt moments, this is your game. Let's talk weapons. You can dual wield everything. Shotgun in one hand, laser rifle in the other? Sure, why not? It's like the game looked at reality, gave it the middle finger and said, here, have fun. All in all, the new Colossus is this perfect mix of insane action, dark humor, and moments that genuinely make you care about the characters. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie mashed with a summer blockbuster, all while letting you be the most badass freedom fighter imaginable. Before you say it's not an FPS game, I know, but you can play it. Yeah, there's a mod which I will put link in the description because I care about you. This mod almost completely transforms the game. In first person, you also get a fresh appreciation for the detail Rockstar put into the game's environments. Whether it's the grime of Sao Paulo's favelas, the neon-soaked clubs, or the high-rise penthouses, everything feels much more intimate and immediate. Remember those cinematic moments in the game where Max dives in slow motion across a room, guns blazing? Now you're seeing that through his eyes. You leap through the air, and suddenly you're flying sideways, watching the environment rotate as you squeeze off rounds mid-flight. There's something uniquely thrilling about experiencing the chaos and destruction firsthand, especially when you pull off those crazy stunts and barely scrape by alive. It's personal in a way third person just can't replicate. Max Payne 3 in first person is like taking one of the most stylish and intense third-person shooters out there and turning it into a full-blown immersive action spectacle. It's brutal, fast, and more emotionally charged than ever. Every gunfight feels more desperate. Every bullet feels more real. And you'll finish the game feeling like you've been right there in the thick of Max's nightmare journey. If you still have completed this game, it's time to give it another try with this FPS mod. Metro Exodus. Imagine a post-apocalyptic journey where you're constantly balancing between awe and sheer terror, and you'll get a feel for this game. It's the third installment in the Metro series, but it's a major departure from the previous ones, literally. You're leaving the Moscow metro tunnels and heading across a radiation-soaked Russia, and let me tell you, it feels like a road trip from hell. The game makes you feel every decision you make. Your gas mask is your best friend, but it's also your biggest headache. You're constantly wiping blood, dirt, and God knows what off the visor, while praying you find filters before your air runs out. And let's not forget the tension of scrounging for ammo. I spent half the game with like 3 bullets to my name, crafting makeshift grenades out of duct tape and pure desperation. You never feel like you have enough of anything, which really ups the stakes. If you're into atmospheric games that make you feel every single bullet fired and throw you into a story that's as bleak as it is beautiful, Metro Exodus is a must-play. Borderlands 3. Number 8 is Borderlands 3. The setup is classic Borderlands. You're a vault hunter, and this time, you've got a whole new set of villains to deal with. The Calypso twins. They're basically psychotic social media influencers with a cult following. If you're into fast-paced, loot-crazed co-op chaos with a story that doesn't take itself too seriously, Borderlands 3 is the perfect game. The world of Borderlands 3 is bigger than ever. You're not just stuck on Pandora. You get to travel to different planets, each with its own distinct environments, from jungles to futuristic cities. It keeps the game feeling fresh even when you're 30 hours deep into your gun-collecting obsession. If you want to be a badass who's ever wanted to obliterate demons in the most metal way possible, this is it. The combat flow in Doom is a thing of beauty. You have to keep moving and aggressively attack to stay alive. Need health? Perform a glory kill, which is basically ripping demons apart with your bare hands in ways that are both horrifying and awesome. Need ammo? Chainsaw a demon in half. The game rewards you for being an absolute madman, and I loved every second of it. It's fast, fluid, and brutal in a way that makes you feel like you're in a thrash metal concert, but the mosh pit is made of hellspawn. If you're looking for games that crank your adrenaline through the roof, give you an arsenal of disgustingly overpowered weapons, and let you mow through hordes of demons like you're headlining a metal concert, the new Doom games are it. Next up is Atomic Heart. The game takes place in an alternate 1950s Soviet Union, but instead of post-war rebuilding, they've developed all kinds of insane, advanced tech, including robots, AI, and some other weird stuff that should definitely not exist in the 50s. The Soviets are having their best lives, basically living in this futuristic utopia, until, surprise, surprise, the robots go haywire and start massacring everyone. Because, of course they do. Why would robots ever behave? You play as Major P3, a Soviet soldier who gets sent in to investigate what the heck is going on at this massive science complex. The game's world design is gorgeous. This isn't your typical bleak post-apocalyptic setting. Atomic Heart goes for a bizarre retro-futuristic aesthetic. Combat is intense and has a mix of both guns and, believe it or not, melee weapons. You'll find yourself scavenging for parts to upgrade weapons and abilities, and sometimes you're literally just swinging pipes or using electrified gloves to take out enemies. There's this one moment where you're up against a swarm of creepy insect-like robots, and you're just frantically trying to smash them while they scuttle up walls. It's a bit like if BioShock's plasmid system was mixed with a fever dream where Half-Life 2's gravity gun existed in a retro Soviet lab. It's that kind of weird. It's a beautiful, strange, often terrifying romp through a world where robots have seriously lost their chill. Just be prepared for lots of what the heck is happening moments, followed by you smashing robots with a wrench while a soothing voice talks about the wonders of Soviet engineering. It's weird, it's fun, and it's like nothing else out there. Prey is a game that takes your brain, sticks it in a blender, and then says, good luck figuring this out. And I mean that in the best possible way. It's a brilliant mix of sci-fi, horror, and psychological mind-bending moments that will have you questioning what's real, what's fake, and whether that office chair you just passed is actually a murderous alien waiting to pounce. You play as Morgan Yu, a scientist aboard a space station called Talos I, which orbits the moon. The game wastes no time, throwing you into a survival situation where you're low on ammo, resources, and sanity. It's part first-person shooter, part RPG, and part psychological thriller. The thing that sets Prey apart, though, is how it turns every situation into a puzzle. Sure, you could shoot your way through the space station, but you'll probably die a lot. Or you could use your tools and creativity to outsmart the environment. This is where Prey truly shines. It's one big sandbox of options. The atmosphere is tense, to say the least. The story is where Prey really hooks you. It's not just about survival. It's about uncovering the mysteries of Talos I, the experiments being conducted on the Typhon, and the dark secrets surrounding Morgan Yu's past. Without giving too much away, you are a key part of the whole situation, and the choices you make will affect how the story unfolds. That IT keeps you on edge with its creepy atmosphere, constantly makes you second-guess everything around you, and leaves you questioning your own decisions by the end. This is one of my favorite games. I loved Cyberpunk. It was great. I really had amazing experience playing it. Where do I even start with this beast of a game? It's like stepping into the future, but through the lens of an 80s neon-soaked fever dream. Think Blade Runner meets Grand Theft Auto, but with a much deeper RPG system and Keanu Reeves yelling at you to burn the city down. Yeah, it's as wild as it sounds. The customization in the game is ridiculous. You can change your appearance, mod your body with cybernetic implants, and choose from a huge arsenal of weapons. Want to double jump off a building, land in a crowd of enemies, and take them down with a katana that shoots electricity? You can. In Cyberpunk 2077, the side quests are often more interesting than the main story. You'll meet quirky, fascinating characters like Judy, a braindance tech who's got her own tragic story, or Panam, a nomad who's as tough as nails, but still somehow gets caught up in your mess. Each side quest feels like its own mini-story, with choices that can have ripple effects throughout the game. Some are hilarious, some are deeply emotional, and some are just straight up bizarre. Like the time I found a talking vending machine trying to convince me to liberate him from his robotic shackles. I wish I were kidding now, let's be real. Cyberpunk had a rough launch. On some platforms, it was Bug City, with characters walking through walls, cars flying for no reason, and NPCs glitching out like they were caught in the Matrix. But beneath all that, there was always a solid game. Over time, patches fixed a lot of the problems, and now it's much closer to what the developers promised, a vast, immersive RPG with endless possibilities. This is a must-play game from my side at least. Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is a fantastic, immersive war game that doesn't shy away from showing the brutal reality of World War I, while still delivering the massive, chaotic multiplayer battles the series is known for. It's a beautiful mix of historical authenticity and pure, adrenaline-pumping action. Whether you're charging across no man's land with a bayonet, dogfighting over war-torn cities, or holding the line in a desperate last stand, Battlefield 1 puts you right in the middle of one of the most intense conflicts in human history and makes sure you feel every bit of it. It has a great campaign, but it shines in multiplayer too. Had a great time playing this with friends. Number 1 is my favorite FPS game of all time. Titanfall 2 has the best campaign I ever played. I never enjoyed a game like I enjoyed Titanfall 2. There's a reason everyone recommends it after they play it. I am not joking. Check the Reddit post recommendations for games, and you will see how much its name has been written at Let's Talk About the Game. It's just amazing. The movements, the gunfire, the melee attacks. Talking about it, I want to play it again, and then there's that level, if you know. Without spoiling anything, there's a mission involving that time-traveling wristwatch that lets you flip between 2 different timelines on the fly. It's one of the most brilliantly designed levels in any FPS, seamlessly blending puzzles, combat, and storytelling. You're flipping between past and present, one moment dodging soldiers, the next avoiding traps or environmental hazards in a futuristic setting. It's like someone decided to throw every great idea they had into one mission, and it just works. And I've got to say, the community around Titanfall 2 is one of the most passionate and loyal in gaming. Even years after release, people are still talking about how underrated it is, and they're right. Titanfall 2 didn't get the recognition it deserved at launch, sandwiched between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty releases, but it's been gaining a cult following for good reason. If you haven't played it, you are lucky, because you can enjoy playing it for the first time. I wish I can forget and play it again. So this was it, the top 10 FPS campaigns I've played. If I missed some games, please share with us. Like the video, subscribe our channel if you enjoy and want to watch our videos in the future. As always, keep gaming, keep laughing, stay pixel perfect. Gaming pulse out.